are 76.5 million Filipinos. 40% are below 18. 2 out of every 5 Filipino families are living in poverty. The sad part is, it's the children that suffer the most from the effects of poverty. But it is also the children that offer more hope of turning the tides around. The youth development program of Pan Pacific, I think, is wonderful. What they do is that they go to provinces and they get young adults to come here to Manila and they train them.
Morning.
Hi.
Morning, everyone.
So currently we have 3 hotels participating here in Manila. We were the only one to start back in 1998, so only the Pan Pacific Manila. Now we have been joined by the Intercontinental Hotel and the Holiday Inn. The program is, well, first of all, it's an educative program, and it's part of our commitment to the community, whereas we give back to the community.
The trainees go through a 20-week program that covers all hotel phase, from F&B, rooms, housekeeping, engineering, even computers and other back of the house, meaning the office. The objective is not to provide work. The objective is to give them skills necessary for them to find work.
Okay, very good.
Shake it, baby.
Very good. That's it.
My rewards are seeing them actually finish the whole thing and seeing them stand up in front of a crowd and be able to confidently speak about themselves, express their minds, finding employment, going back to school, and being role models.
Now we can try.
We do have an Adopt a Kid Day with Kanlungan sa Irma. Kanlungan sa Irma is a drop-in shelter for street children. We have adopted this shelter as part of our community program.
This is a drop-in and temporary shelter at the same time. Why drop-in? Because we cater to children who are still on the street, and yet they could still access to our services here. They can watch TV, they can join our activities. For temporary shelter, we have kids, more than 30 right now, who are undergoing the first stage of rehabilitation. This is where we process them, such as we interview them, we conduct a home visit, we provide health services just to assess everything about the child. Aside from that, we are providing also the skills training and income-generating projects where the child can be given an opportunity to learn and at the same time earn.
I'm really glad that there are people who are very, very much willing to help. They're not just teachers to these kids. They're not just rehabilitating these kids. They're becoming their friends, relatives, parents, ally, and protector.
Now, Adopt a Kid Day, we encourage our associates to adopt them as big brothers and big sisters, or ates and kuyas as we call it here. And we do have exposure trips also for them, because these are children who are not used to things that are around them. No? So we bring them to the zoo, to the planetarium, to a theater, to watch a movie, and it's an experience for them.
This is a great program because we help the kids to relieve their wounds. I want them to feel that there is someone who will love them, who care for them, because there are people outside who hate them because they think they are rude, they are rubbish. So that's why we are here to help.
It's wonderful that there are people whose hearts are probably even bigger than them. I hope that in my own little way I'd be able to do something also, inspire them to do something with their lives.
sakali pa yung iba, ang masasabi ko sa inyo, kapag nasakali kayo, pumunta na lang kayo sa bawat center or maghanap kayo ng taong lalapitan nyo yung tipong makakatulong sa inyo. Pero kung sakaling mapupunta na kayo sa bawat center o kung nakapunta na kayo sa center, ang sabi ko sa inyo, wag na kayong umalis. Huwag nyo na babalikan yung gawain nyo sakali kasi kahit sabing walang nagmamahal sa atin, kahit sabing wala tayong magulang, nandun yung kaya natin tumayo, kaya natin panindigan yung sarili natin. Pangako, hindi kita iiwan. Pangako, di ko pababayaan. Pangako, hindi ka na mag-iisa. Pangakong magmula ngayon, tayong dalawa ang magkasama.
Thank you! Yay! Thanks! For the trainees at the Pan Pacific Hotel, their training will give them job prospects and hopefully a better future. But for the children here in Kandungan, they will have a chance to turn their lives around. But still, there are very many more children on the streets whose plight remains invisible to those around us. The trucks come here to Payatas every day, bringing with them 10,000 tons of garbage from Manila, but to more than 80,000 people living here. Garbage is their source of livelihoods.
The children of Payatas, because of the conditions here, are more disadvantaged compared to other children in other slums. Most of the children are working, joining their families to earn a living. The working system is also dangerous. Trucks moving in, bulldozers, big, heavy equipment that hardly notice there are children around. So children often encounter accidents, wounds from metals, from the garbage. Young children are susceptible to illnesses, waterborne and airborne diseases. So we are trying to mobilize resources, people, to work together to address the problems of children here.
Paaralang Pangtao People's School was set up in 1989 by the leaders of this community because a lot of children were not able to go to school.
Isa kang baliw! Anong magagawa ng mga batang yan sa isang mabagsik na virus na kagaya ko?
Hoy! Huwag kang magtawa! Dahil ito ang paraan na aking naisip upang hindi ka na makapaminsala. Mga bata, makinig kayong mabuti. Dapat, say no to drugs.
These initiatives for children are community-based in nature. So these programs like health, education, childcare are done in the context of rehabilitation. Basically, it involves mobilization of resources within the community to address the different needs, rehabilitation needs of children with disabilities. So the intervention varies from disability to disability. But the idea is before sending children to institutions, some of which are hardly affordable to low-income families, there could be possibilities of taking initiatives to do the rehabilitation process in the community. So if there's a need for physiotherapy, for example, we can get motivate somebody with the technical skill to train the mothers. So there is a lot of technology transfer so that the rehabilitation process is done at home and in the community. Disability is a community issue. It's not just an issue that is isolated from all the other issues. We are also linking disability to the issue of shelter. There's a lot of interrelation between the two. That's a long, it's a long process. Not only addressing the disability, but also trying to improve the living condition. So disability rehabilitation and slum upgrading, they go hand in hand.
Despite all these problems that we're seeing, that I have seen actually, it's an eye-opener for me actually. I don't understand why these kids are working when they should be at home or playing or going to school or just having a wonderful time, because that's supposed to be the case, right? It should be that way, but it's not. Some of them are working, and if you ask them a question, what are your rights? What do you think are your rights? Some of them will tell you that, we're here to help our family. So even their values are like so screwed up already. And it'll take time to actually fix whatever it is that's broken in them.
There's actually a law that prohibits child labor, and the government, the administration here is having difficulty imposing it because of the poverty. Child labor cannot be eradicated that easily, but there could be steps to make it more dignifying, more safe for them. Children, waste pickers, are human beings with dignity. Even though the work may be dirty, physically dirty, but they have a dignity. So we try to put up a center accessible to them where they could take a shower, they could clean themselves up after work, and they could have that dignity, the respect that is due to them. The center that we ran of the working children, it's managed by the Association of Mothers. So they are there to not only to implement the program, but even to protect the program, because there's a threat that the program or the center may be demolished.
The country's effort for solid waste management, I think, is actually good, and I think it's about time, but I'm not really sure because I know that a lot of people will be affected. I hope that there's a plan B, but I think they're trying to do something about it, and I hope that it will work for everybody, including the people who are living here.
There's really a need for a center, a community-run, managed center where people, especially children, can be safe. Even if the working condition, even if we have the dump site, children have a right of space, child-friendly space. We are still in an ongoing negotiation process. Hopefully, we will win.
I'm very happy that he's actually here. He's here helping this community. I think they also need to have faith, and I think they all have that. And what surprises me actually is they still have hope and hopes and dreams, and that's really very nice. Payatas is a close-knit and well-organized community. Its approach is by the community, for the community. But this community will be so affected by the country's effort for solid waste management. We have to remember this, that garbage is not the only thing we have to manage. phenomenon of street children has been a long concern of the Philippine government. It has generated a range of responses from the government and non-government sectors. One of the non-government organizations that is actively involved in addressing the needs and problems of the street children is Child Hope Asia Philippines.
Child Hope hope to address the flight of street children, the problem, and how we can actually address the root cause of the problem, and that is poverty. The aim of the street education program is to provide protection to the children while they're still on the street. We do not force any child to leave the street, but we have to encourage them by trying to give them some options and for them to think of their future.
So how do you approach
Nakikipag-intervention
them?
muna kami sa mga, halimbawa, kasi sa place halimbawa ng aristocrat, meron doon mga nagtitinda ng sigarilyo, nagtitinda ng halimbawa palamig, nagtitinda ng mga balot. Doon muna kami umi-entry.
Doon muna.
Meron po ba kayong mga kilala dito mga bata? Yun si ano yun. Tapos through that, ipapakilala kami sa kanila. Tapos maging visible kami sa area.
Dante, the street educator, asked them to draw something like about how they feel about them being here on the streets, and a lot of them actually drew houses. And there was this one kid who drew a world. She said that that was her world. Half of it was like in yellow and green and blue. And then she said that that used to be her life with her family, happy. And then when she left, it became red and she was all alone. You can actually really tell by her telling me that story that she really, really regrets leaving her family. Bahay, bata! Lansangan!
Basically, the main reason why children are on the street is because they have nothing to eat at home and parents have no work and they have to push their children out of the street. In some instances, they are abused at home, so they have to run away and find themselves on the street for survival purposes.
Asa kapit na naman itong pagkita, matagal naman, ganun. Kasi mga kanganay ko naman, nagtitiis sa amin. Imbis, tulungan po kami realize na maiwasan namin pagkikimik na to. Kasi po itong game ito, maaari ka mamatay ka rito. Kasi nagmamagitan ng tulo, tsaka AIDS. Yung pagkikimik po, ito po yung nilalagay ka po sa box, yung ilalagay ka po sa kanto, naladalhin ka, lalagay ka sa hotel, sa hotel, magpaliliguin ka, magubad ka, wakan daddy mo, mga ganun. Yun po yung gimmick. Yun po yung gimmick na yun. Maaari pa yung gimmick na yun, magkakaroon ka ng tulog. Tapos yung mga kapatid ko naman, imbis nila yung nanay ko, tulungan kami. Sila rin, sinusunod nila yung nanay ko. Kaya nalalagay sa sarili ko, parang inaabos kami ng magulang ko.
Street children, working children, neglected, abandoned, destitute, and disabled children. They are all caught in a very difficult circumstances, and they are all in need of special protection.
These children that you see now are about more than 20 years living here. The mother, the parents all settled here 20 years ago. So among them, they are the second and the third generation. As you can see, the smaller kids.
I didn't really know that anybody can actually live out here. I asked them what do they do for food, and some of them are probably beggars.
You can see, he said, in the evening they stay here. They would put their boxes.
And they sleep here with the kids,
yes,
with the babies.
Especially with the babies. There's no other place for them to sleep.
I really don't understand why they're here, and now it's starting to rain and they're still here, and there's small children here. They're not wearing clothes. And they're babies too. This is probably one of the most depressing area that we've been to. I feel really weird being here today. I mean, I saw these people living out here on the street, literally just here. And you can just see the kids. Some of them don't even wear anything. So, my new hero now, by the way, is Butch. He's my hero now. The thing that he's doing for these people, I think, is wonderful. I've never met anybody like him before, and I think he really cares a lot for these people. And I'm glad that he's here, helping out.
When I go out to the streets, my aim is to motivate children to get off the streets through my counselings, letting them be aware on their situations in the streets, the hazards, violence, drugs. There are these girls who've been in the streets also, who are into substance abuse, taking solvents. Once they get high, they go for sex, and they will do it with anybody. And any boys. At the end of that, they will end up to be prostitutes. They will have STDs, sexually transmitted disease, or HIV/AIDS. Because I was a former street child and I can speak their language, I know their culture, and it's easy for me to relate. I establish rapport with them, monitor them, their activities, to meet new children where I could be of help, and to see if there is some need like counseling or medical attention, because mostly these children are sick with pneumonias, scabies. Every day is a challenge to me. How am I going to motivate them? When I woke up, in my mind is the children. Sometimes I forgot my own children. My advice to the street children is that they must have faith in life. Believe that there are options, there are alternatives with their problems. Believe that they have their own rights, the right to education, to be loved, to have a shelter, to eat the right food, to be with their parents, love their parents for whatever they are, and believe to their street educators.
The circumstances of street children are difficult and complex. There are no easy solutions, just as there are no easy solutions in the community of Payatas. But whether they live, work in the streets, or in Payatas, they do what they have to do in order for them to survive. And they have a right to survive, just like you and me.